In the second year after I married Qinghan, she became the most sought-after socialite in high society. Every man envied me, but what they did not know was, for the whole years, she had never let me touch her. High society was holding a much-anticipated gala. Tonight was the first time Qinghan had brought Hu Wei to a business event like this. It was also the first time the Gu heiress had appeared with a male companion. Qinghan was famous in high society for being an aloof socialite. Proud by nature, she possessed an air unlike anyone else. Now, her face had turned cold. Dissatisfaction showed in her eyes. I knew it was a sign that her anger was rising. On the television screen, Hu Wei stood behind her with a gentle smile. They looked like a picture-perfect couple. The sight pierced my heart. When I came back to myself, my phone screen was still lit. It was my chat with Qinghan. The last message had been sent by Qinghan half an hour ago. Stay home tonight. Do not go out. A bleak smile touched my lips. I had always known that Qinghan and I were bound only by a contract, but I had loved her since we were children. Yet she had never seen me. More than 10 minutes earlier, the instant Qinghan entered with Hu Wei on her arm, every eye in the room turned to them. At once, every major news outlet rushed to report that Qinghan had finally appeared. Hu Wei sat below the stage. His blue suit made his tall, straight figure impossible to miss. He gazed at Qinghan on stage with a warm smile, his eyes full of affection. The camera turned to Qinghan, who was speaking on stage. After only a few days apart, she seemed like a different person. Her expression was so relaxed and at ease. Throughout her entire 5-minute speech, her gaze never left Hu Wei. They looked like a couple deeply in love. The charged air made everyone there flush and feel their hearts race. The moment her speech ended, reporters surged forward. You must be Miss Gu. You truly live up to your reputation. And this must be Mr. Li. You two are such a happy couple. May you stay together forever. Mr. Li, Miss Gu, please look this way. Each cry of Mr. Li made Hu Wei's smile grow increasingly stiff. He forced out a smile. Sorry, I am not Li Chuan. The crowd exchanged bewildered looks. Sensing a scandal, the reporters raised their cameras. Questions came one after another. Then what is your relationship with Miss Gu? There have long been rumors that Miss Gu is someone she loves. Is that person you, Mr. Hu? Sir, please answer us. The barrage of questions left Hu Wei frozen in place. His silence only fueled the reporters' aggressive questioning. Many people began whispering among themselves. The Gu and Li families have been close for generations. How could he ruin such a perfect match? He is obviously after the Gu family's money. Still, he is quite handsome. He certainly has the looks to live off a rich woman. Without that face, how could he ever catch the Gu heiress's eye? Miss Gu is probably just having a little fun with him. Are you finished? On camera, Qinghan emerged from the crowd and strode toward them. Her beautiful eyes were cold. Her thin, sharp voice carried an icy authority. Hu Wei, come here. Qinghan held out her hand. No one dared make a sound. Hu Wei smiled calmly. He quickly walked to Qinghan's side. Qinghan lifted her chin. Her contemptuous gaze swept over the reporters who had questioned him. Mr. Hu is my business partner. My husband is feeling unwell today and could not attend. My arrangements were inadequate. I apologize for the misunderstanding. As soon as she finished speaking, the reporters and guests who had spoken quickly tried to smooth things over. Anyone with sense knew that no one should ever provoke the Gu heiress. Crossing her was a dead end. The live stream had ended, but Qinghan's final words still echoed in my mind. I was not sick. I could have attended. Qinghan simply would not let me. All these years, very few people had truly seen me. I did not like attending those glittering social events either. I sighed. Then I sat on the balcony, lost in thought. When I was younger, I was brimming with youthful confidence and ambition. The moment I returned home, I began taking over part of my father's work. Everyone thought a green kid like me could never accomplish anything. They urged me to quit, but I refused. The less they believed in me, the harder I worked to prove myself. Within just a few months, the projects I led had become leaders in the industry. Major companies rushed to partner with us. The Li Group established itself firmly in the business world, becoming one of the industry's giants. Everything was going smoothly until Qinghan returned from abroad. There was someone new by her side, Hu Wei. For his sake, Qinghan began pushing away every man around her, including me. I began to panic. Qinghan and I had grown up together. In her world, there had seemed to be no other men besides me, let alone any who could interest her. She had always been distant with everyone. That New Year's Eve, my parents had gone abroad for business. The streets were packed with traffic. Festive energy filled the whole city. I stayed home alone and went nowhere. The New Year bells were about to ring. When I heard Qinghan's voice, I thought I was imagining it. Xiao Chuan. I looked up. The doorbell rang at the entryway. When I opened the door, Qinghan stood in the moonlight holding sparklers. Her eyes shimmered faintly with tears. Xiao Chuan, Happy New Year. Beneath her dark hair was a delicate, elegant face. In the faint, mist like starlight. Her pale eyes were misted with the quiet joy of peaceful days. At the same time, brilliant fireworks burst across the dark sky behind her. Their light fell over her face. It was as if the rest of the world had lost all color. In that moment, my heart suddenly clenched. So this was what falling in love felt like. I always thought I was the exception, until Hu Wei appeared. Only then did I realize I had been fooling myself for years. It was raining outside. Qinghan had not answered any of my calls. Just as I was about to text her, Qinghan called. I answered before I could speak. A man's slightly apologetic voice came through the phone. Qinghan, I should not have responded to those reporters today. It was my fault for causing you trouble. I froze. It was Hu Wei. Before I could react, Qinghan spoke. Wei, you do not need to apologize. You know it. You have always been the one I love. I stared blankly at my phone. Then, when they stopped talking, intimate, grating sounds came through the line. This scene was something I had endured countless times over the past 2 years. That business-marriage alliance had been Qinghan's idea. 2 years ago, my father's company was betrayed. Its funding suddenly dried up. The entire company fell into panic and turmoil. Qinghan was the one who reached out to help. She helped the Li group survive the crisis. Everyone believed it was simply one family helping another. Only I knew it was a transaction. The day before Qinghan stepped in to help, she came to see me. You like me, do you not? Yes. I did not hesitate. I loved Qinghan. All our friends knew it. But Hu Wei's appearance turned that open affection into a secret love. She stood before me, staring straight into my eyes. She no longer looked like the sweet girl I remembered. Her cold voice was as soft and unrelenting as drizzle. Would you marry me? I lowered my head and said nothing. I knew she was not finished. I can help the Li family through this crisis, but only if you marry me and shield me from other arranged marriages. My lips curved into a bitter smile. She wanted to marry me only to use me as a shield. When Qinghan returned with Hu Wei, her mother adamantly opposed their relationship. Even when Qinghan lowered her head and begged, her mother would not yield. I had heard from Qinghan's friends abroad that she and Hu Wei met at a bar overseas. They got along wonderfully, becoming inseparable friends while abroad. Then, during an accident, Hu Wei was injured saving Qinghan and ended up in the hospital. During Hu Wei's days in the hospital, Qinghan cared for him devotedly. After that, they grew closer and closer, until they became more than friends. The night Qinghan returned home, everyone gathered together to welcome her back. The instant I saw Hu Wei, every eye in the room turned to me. Only later did I learn about Qinghan and Hu Wei being together. She had told everyone except me. I agreed to Qinghan's terms. In the business world, people who help when you are down are rare. Without the Gu Group's help, my father's company might truly have gone bankrupt. Besides the marriage agreement, Qinghan and I signed another contract. Neither of us would interfere in the other's private life. So throughout our 2-year marriage, I never questioned anything she did. We always played the part of a loving couple. Her phone was switched off. With a sigh, I sent the message I had drafted. Then I closed my eyes in exhaustion. My mother-in-law called to tell me to come for dinner with Qinghan tomorrow. It seemed Qinghan would not be coming. I did not want to disappoint my mother-in-law, so I bought a gift and made excuses for Qinghan. My finger wandered onto the man's social media profile. Hu Wei documented every little moment of his life with Qinghan. His earliest post about Qinghan had been posted years earlier. In the photo, the girl was smiling brightly. The man's beautiful eyes never left her. The love in his gaze was almost overflowing. When Hu Wei wanted to go to the library, Qinghan went with him. When he craved food from home, Qinghan immediately had someone bring it to him. My fingers slowly scrolled across the screen. My eyes stung more and more. On our first wedding anniversary, she left home to be with Hu Wei. At my birthday party, Qinghan suddenly left in front of our parents. It was the first time she had lost her composure before the elders. It was not for any other reason. Hu Wei had cooked a meal for her himself and wanted her to taste it. Every post was about Hu Wei and his sweet moments with Qinghan. So, our childhood sweethearts destined to lose to someone who comes later. I let out a long breath and looked up. I felt exhausted to the bone. Over these past 2 years, I had wondered countless times whether marrying Qinghan was truly what I wanted. The truth was, I never regretted it. My love for her had never faded. The man's latest post had been uploaded 5 minutes ago. Hu Wei had posted a photo. He was holding a girl intimately. I want kisses. In the comments, a familiar account had left a comment beneath his post. It was Qinghan. Hu Wei replied with a kissing emoji. Love you, baby. I clenched my fists. I tried desperately to force down the churning pain inside me. Qinghan, if I stopped loving you, would you be sad? Early the next morning, I carried the gifts back to her family home. Just as I was about to enter, Qinghan's voice called from behind me. Chuan. I froze. Qinghan's voice was gentler than I had ever heard it. It felt as if time had returned to the year I first fell in love. After parking, She took the gifts from my hands. With one hand, she slipped familiarly round my arm. Thank you. I looked at her. She was nothing like the Qinghan I had seen on the livestream yesterday. Her face was cold. Everything about her radiated distance. I said nothing, and simply followed her inside. I am sorry about yesterday. Though Qinghan did not say it, I knew. She was apologizing for Hu Wei deliberately calling last night. She was apologizing to me. You do not need to apologize. It is what I should do. I lowered my head, my voice calm and detached. After all these years, I would be lying if I said I was not tired, but I always gave myself another chance. Maybe if I held on a little longer, Qinghan would see me again. The hands around my arm trembled for a moment, but it quickly passed. Mom, we are here. Qinghan held my hand as we entered the living room. The moment we stepped inside, an unusual tension seemed to hang in the air. My mother-in-law sat on the sofa, her face ashen with anger. She gripped a wine glass tightly. Qinghan tried to pull me into a seat, but my mother-in-law stopped her with a shout. Stay standing. Qinghan's outstretched hand suddenly froze. Her expression was complicated. No one in the Gu household dared speak. The servants stood quietly to one side, heads bowed. Though no one said it aloud, everyone knew my mother-in-law was furious over last night. Mom, this has nothing to do with Chuan. Qinghan was the first to break the silence. Did I say you could speak? Miss Gu, with a crack, my mother-in-law smashed her wine glass against the table. She never once looked at Qinghan. Her tone was far harsher than usual. In all my time with my mother-in-law, it was the first time I had seen her this enraged. I stood there awkwardly at a loss. Though I had lived in this household for 2 years, I knew the servants had never truly treated me as misterly, especially after my parents died. They treated me even more coldly. They thought I was a useless man living off my wife. Chuan, do you know what you did wrong? My mother-in-law rose to her feet, suppressing her fury. She walked toward me. I raised my eyes and spoke gravely. Please tell me plainly, Mom. My mother-in-law crossed her arms over her chest, circling Qinghan and me again and again. You cannot even keep your own wife in line. Chuan, do you think you are at fault or not? In public, your legal wife was flirting with another man. Do you know what the media has been saying? You may not be ashamed, but I am. Are you adults or not? Can you not tell what matters most? My mother-in-law's voice rang through the hall. She picked up a whip from the cabinet and slowly walked toward me. I knew my mother-in-law was standing up for me. Mom, what are you doing? Qinghan seized her mother's hands just as she raised the whip. A flicker of displeasure crossed her face. I am disciplining my own son-in-law. What? Do you feel sorry for him? My mother-in-law shook free of Qinghan's grasp, then brought the whip down. I instinctively shut my eyes, but the pain never came. I opened my eyes. Qinghan stood directly in front of me, having taken the blow from me. Enough, Mom. You have scolded us, and you have hit enough. Let us eat. The food is getting cold. I stood there with clenched fists. I did not sit until my mother-in-law finally relented. Chuan, were you really unwell yesterday? My hand froze around my chopsticks. I instinctively looked at Qinghan. Her cold expression revealed nothing. A nearly imperceptible smile touched my lips. I said, Mom, I really was not feeling well. Then go to the hospital and get properly checked. It has been 2 years. Several of my old friends already have grandsons. Why is there still no news from you two? My mother-in-law seemed to be saying it to me, but her gaze kept drifting toward Qinghan. Qinghan understood exactly what she meant. She set down her chopsticks and took my hand. Her concern was impossible to hide. Do not worry, Mom. Chuan, and I will keep trying. For a moment, I was dazed. I had not known anyone could pretend so well. After Qinghan drove me home, she handed me an exquisite little gift box. Thank you for covering for me today. I took the box. Inside was a bracelet. Over the past 2 years, Qinghan had given me countless small gifts. They were gathering dust in a cabinet. Qinghan was good at this, at least. She could give me anything except love. Silently, I put the gift back. Tomorrow, I am going to the office. I need to collect an important document. All right. I will have someone bring it to you. I did not answer. I nodded, turned, and left. Life between Qinghan and me had always been like this, dull and monotonous. We were like strangers who knew each other best. When I got home, I let out a heavy breath. I lay on the bed, staring blankly at the dark ceiling. Qinghan had never once come to this home, not even on our wedding night. After everyone else left, she left too, and went straight to Hu Wei's home. That was the home she had always longed for. The next morning, I gathered my things and went to Qinghan's company. The moment I entered, Hu Wei called out to me, What brings you here today? Do not tell me you want your job back. Hu Wei's voice dripped with mockery. Mr. Li, the industry has changed drastically. With your abilities, I doubt you could handle any position. I stared straight at him. I had to admit, on closer inspection, Hu Wei did resemble me somewhat. Hu Wei and I had met only a few times. In the past, because of my family's status, he had treated me with great respect. Later, relying on Qinghan's feelings for him, he grew bolder and bolder. He would send me photos, deliberately provoking me. Now, he was not even pretending anymore. Hu Wei seemed ready to say more, but I could not be bothered. I gave him a look and walked away. I sat in the break room, watching the employees bustle around the office. I could not help feeling nostalgic. A few years ago, I had been just like them. I was tired, but happy. A few minutes later, Hu Wei came over with the documents. He wore a sinister smile. The top buttons of his shirt were undone, revealing marks on his neck. I glanced at them instinctively. It felt as if an invisible hand had gripped my heart, and I could barely breathe. Qinghan had something to do and could not come. She asked me to bring the documents. You call her Qinghan so intimately. I picked up the documents and left. But Hu Wei reached out to stop me. He stepped closer, his face twisted with overwhelming jealousy. Do you not want to know what you really are? In Qinghan's heart, I clenched my fist and glared at him coldly. Sorry, I am not interested. I stepped back, my expression cold. He ignored me. His crazed, vicious gaze pierced me like icy needles. She said you are nothing but a pathetic lapdog, always clinging to her. Impossible to shake off. The thing that annoys her most every day is seeing you. My lips parted, but no words came out. In Qinghan's eyes, was I really that contemptible? Just then, a hand suddenly shoved me. I instantly lost my balance. I looked at Hu Wei. A strange smile appeared on his face. The next second, he grabbed my wrist. Then he let go and fell straight down the stairs. I instinctively tried to catch him, but the arriving Qinghan shoved me away. Li Chuan, what are you doing? With a thud, the back of my head slammed into the edge of a table. A searing pain shot through my head. Something warm seemed to trickle out. Qinghan had already helped Hu Wei up. When she saw the blood on his forehead, she snapped coldly. Li Chuan, apologize. I did nothing wrong. Why should I apologize? I finally lost my temper too, and looked at her stubbornly. Qinghan stared at me in disbelief. I never thought you could be so vicious. In an instant, it was as if everything around us had frozen. All I could see was Qinghan's disgust for me, and Hu Wei's smug satisfaction. Qinghan supported him as she turned and left. Mr. Li, you are bleeding. Would you like it bandaged? I raised a hand to the back of my head. The sharp pain made me gasp. Ignoring the blood on my hand, I grabbed the documents and hurried away. The moment I got home, I could no longer hold myself up. I slid down the wall and collapsed onto the floor. I stared at the empty ceiling for a long time, my eyes unfocused. I did not even notice Qinghan coming home. Li Chuan, do not think my mother liking you means you can do whatever you want. Do not go after Hu Wei again. If something like this happens again, I will. You will what? Divorce me. I looked at Qinghan, who is really playing dirty. Check the security footage, and you will know. You condemn me without even knowing the facts. Is that not terribly unfair to me? My reaction startled Qinghan. She tried to speak, but I cut her off. I closed my eyes briefly and spoke, my voice trembling. Qinghan, yes, I love you, but I get tired too. Qinghan stared at me blankly. A flicker of regret seemed to cloud her eyes. Chuan, her expression showed a flicker of panic. She reached out to help me, but her hand found only empty air. I raised my eyes to meet Qinghan's. I tried to find a trace of who she once was in them, but it had vanished completely. Qinghan wanted to say more, but Hu Wei called her away. I laughed bitterly. Even now, I was still hoping Qinghan would stay. I turned and went back to the bedroom, then began packing. After that, I took a cab to the hospital. The wound on the back of my head had begun to get infected. The doctor prescribed medicine and told me to rest. Carrying my luggage, I walked along the river. Everything from the past replayed endlessly in my mind. Perhaps it was time to let go and find my true self. After that day, Qinghan seemed to have changed her attitude toward me. She began to show concern for me, yet she still had not noticed I had moved back into my own home. In the car, I turned to ask her, why do you need me to attend this time? The implication was obvious. Why not bring Hu Wei? She did not answer. After a long while, she finally spoke. I was wrong about what happened before. I am sorry. I lowered my eyes. My heart did not stir at all. In the past, those words would have made me happy for days. I did not respond. I simply stared straight ahead. Along the way, Hu Wei called. Qinghan declined the call. Why did you not answer? Chuan, can we not talk about him today? After that, neither of us spoke again. Qinghan and I rode the rest of the way in silence. The moment we entered the venue, every eye turned toward us. Qinghan took my hand, walked to the center of the hall, and took the microphone. This is Mr. Li Chuan. Applause and cheers broke out around us. I nodded slightly, playing the part of a loving couple with Qinghan. Halfway through the party, the doors opened again. It was Hu Wei, leaning against another woman. He never once glanced at Qinghan, and the woman beside Hu Wei was a notorious socialite known for her promiscuity. I looked at the woman beside me. Her hands around mine tightened again and again. Jealousy nearly spilled from her eyes. Then her grip suddenly loosened. Qinghan strode toward them. In front of everyone, she yanked Hu Wei away and headed outside. The wine glass in my hand froze halfway up. Look how much they love each other. I lowered my head, and smiled. Then I drained my glass in one gulp. Amid everyone's whispers, I walked in the direction they had gone. Just a few steps outside the venue, I saw them tangled together in a kiss by the roadside. I slowly approached. With every step, the pain in my heart cut deeper. Qinghan, have you not gone too far? I spoke softly from a short distance away. Yet at the moment I truly let go, I felt unbelievably relieved. The arms she had around Hui stiffened. Qinghan turned her head. The instant she saw me, she violently shoved him away. I smiled, walked over, and pressed a finger to her rosy lips. Then I turned to Hui, whose face had gone livid. Trash belongs in a dumpster. You two are made for each other. I will leave you to it. I do not know how I left that place. I do not remember whether Qinghan tried to stop me, but none of it mattered anymore. This time, I had truly let her go. When I returned home, I found Qinghan waiting downstairs. The moment she saw me, she rushed over and hugged me. Her voice was hoarse. Chuan, do not leave me. I tried to push her away, but she held me in an iron grip. Qinghan, who are you putting on this act for? I closed my eyes and breathed out the words. Her arms around me visibly stiffened. I continued. I have loved you for many years. Qinghan, it is not as if you did not know, but now I am exhausted. I do not want to love you anymore. Should that not make you happy? I will explain it to your mother. She has always treated me well. I slowly pulled myself from her embrace, smiled, and said, I wish you both happiness. A few days later, I saw Qinghan near my office building. Hui was with her. I wanted to turn and leave, but Hui spotted me. Things had come this far, so he saw no reason to keep pretending. Mr. Li, how have you been lately? I gave a faint smile. With neither of you hovering around me, life has been much more peaceful. Qinghan looked at me, as though I were a complete stranger. Chuan, you were not like this before. I heard her, and answered flatly, sorry, I have never changed. During my vacation, I went away on a trip. When I returned, I began preparing for the divorce. The moment I landed, Qinghan drove up in front of me. Chuan, can we talk? After only a few days apart, Qinghan looked worn down, with my hands in my pockets. Before she could get out to open the door for me, I got into the back seat. She looked up at the rearview mirror. After a long silence, she said, Hui betrayed me again. Chuan, I have ended things with him. I looked out the window. Even while I was away, I heard about Hui. Apparently, he latched onto a wealthy woman and still could not stay faithful. Someone beat him until one leg was crippled. So, what? What does that have to do with me? In this one-sided love affair, I had always been the only one who wanted it. In a way, Qinghan was not wrong. I was the one at fault. Qinghan was on the verge of tears. Chuan, after you left, I realized that you were the one I had loved all along. What I felt for him was only guilt. I remembered the Qinghan from our youth. It was not that she had felt nothing from me. It had simply faded away little by little beneath her guilt toward Hui. The divorce went through smoothly. Qinghan did not even look at it and signed the divorce agreement. The moment I received the divorce certificate, I seemed to see my former self. The Li Group had opened several branch offices. One of them happened to be in Sanya. It was the place Qinghan and I had promised to visit together. My uncles were thrilled to learn I had returned and planned to put me in charge of the branch there. I carried my luggage and prepared to board. Just as boarding was about to begin, I finally heard Qinghan's voice. She came running toward me. Gasping for breath, she called, Chuan, will you come back? Qinghan's voice was very soft. I did not know whether I had heard her correctly, but there seemed to be a hint of hope in it. I turned back. I smiled with relief. Who can say what the future holds? Goodbye, Qinghan. As the plane began to taxi, I gazed at the city beyond the window, the city where I had lived for over 20 years. My heart was unexpectedly calm. Before boarding, I deleted every way of contacting Qinghan. Life in Sanya was good. As the new year approached, I gave every employee a short holiday. I was alone in the enormous office. There was a mailbox outside the company's front entrance. Later, the postal workers went on strike, and the mailbox fell into disuse. I leaned against the mailbox. Soon after, the postman who had been on strike appeared as if by a miracle. Excuse me, does Mr. Li Chuan work here? I straightened up and nodded. That is me. The postal worker clapped his hands in relief. Wonderful. Someone asked me to deliver these letters to you. They specifically said they had to be placed in your hands. I accepted the letters. There were dozens of them. Walking along the shore, I opened them one by one. Every letter had been written by Qinghan. In the most recent letter, Qinghan had written only a few lines. Are you doing well over there? Today is the 203rd day since you left. I miss you so much. The new year is almost here. Chuan, I wish you happiness and joy. I was in the south, while Qinghan was in the north. Over the past 6 months, I had also heard that Qinghan was busy taking her company public. She was overwhelmed by endless social obligations, with barely any free time. But it had little to do with me. I sat on the beach. By moonlight, I read through Gu Qinghan's unspoken remorse. Dozens of envelopes held hundreds of apologies. Gu Qinghan, I accept your apology, but I do not want to love you anymore. When spring arrived, every major media outlet rushed to report the Gu Group's public listing. A reporter asked President Gu, "What drove you to achieve this and take the Gu Group public so quickly?" Gu Qinghan sat at the center table, her hands braced before her. After a year apart, she had grown far more mature. She wore a long black dress this time. Her coldness had softened into restraint. She seemed more solemn. Mr. Lee. The moment she said that, both the reporters present and those following the press conference online were stunned. What happened between Gu Qinghan and Hu Wei was known to only a few people, but my divorce from Gu Qinghan was known to everyone. The press conference ended quickly, but the story shot to the top of the trending charts. Discussion of it exploded. A crowd of reporters blocked the entrance to my office. There was no chance of working today. I sent my assistant a few messages and gave myself a few more days off. I went to the temple closest to the office. The wishing tree was covered in heartfelt wishes from countless people. Behind every wish was a story unlike any other. I stood in the pavilion, gazing at the view below the mountain, far from the city's clamor. Chuan. My eyes went blank, then turned to meet Gu Qinghan's eyes, full of longing. "How did you know I was here?" "Your assistant told me." "Fine. I will dock her pay when I get back," I replied with an indifferent expression. Deep within me, a long-buried memory was quietly beginning to unfold. Gu Qinghan sat beside me. After a long while, she forced a smile. "Chuan, do you still blame me?" I smiled and turned to look at her. I gently shook my head. "I forgave you long ago." Gu Qinghan took a deep breath. Without stopping to rest, she carefully began. "Chuan, during the more than 300 days you were gone, I could not stop thinking about you, and I kept regretting that I had let you slip away like that." I looked into her clear eyes and seemed to see the girl Gu Qinghan once was. "So, Mr. Lee, I am willing to get to know you again. Can you give me a chance to let me pursue you again?" My breath suddenly caught. The pounding of my heart was deafening. The seed of love planted in our youth, even after enduring such crushing blows, still struggled to break free of its chains. Gu Qinghan continued speaking, her voice trembling without pause. At that moment, I could no longer stop my shoulders from shaking. The corners of my lips lifted. "Do not say it is too late. When the sunset can still fill the sky with color, some things can come later, or more slowly. That is all right. Everything happens as it is meant to. So let us start over, starting as